This meeting was legislated by order at 3:19 p.m. Our first order of business today is roll call. President Colombo, Chief of Staff Bracy, Treasurer Carter,
Here.
Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Chair Broyard,
Here.
Communications Director Bovo is not feeling well today and they are excused. Recording Secretary Foxell, Graphic Design Coordinator Fazell,
Here.
President Pro Tempore Gracinger, they informed me that they're on campus and they're finding a place to park. Senator Tudor, he's coming late. Senator Mahan is not feeling well today, they're excused. Senator Wagenhofer, do we have an excuse from them? Alright. Senator Rial. We don't have an excuse from Senator Rial. Senator Tate. We don't have an excuse from Senator Tate. Senator Woodyard. Senator Harris. We do not have an excuse for Senator Harris. Senator Brown.
Here.
Senator Adams.
Here.
Senator Rangel is sick. Senator Peterson.
Here.
Senator McLaughlin.
Here.
Senator McHugh.
Here.
Senator Atkins.
Here.
Senator Williams.
Here.
And both of our senator at larges, Bruno and Fontero, are not here due to other commitments. We will now move to the approval of the minutes. I did not receive the minutes this week, so there are none to present for approval. If there were, that's where we head to. With that, we will go to the approval of the agenda. The agenda was sent out the other day. It was sent out yesterday. I realized this morning that it said January 30th when I sent out instead of the 29th. I have since corrected that. I amended the original one that I sent out to include the constitution of the Michael Mark Dance Sport Club in new business. I sent that addition to you all yesterday as well. With the additions that have already been made to the agenda, are there any further corrections? If there are no further corrections, the agenda is approved. And with that, we will move to our first vote on the floor. Does anyone have anything for our first vote on the floor? President Colombo.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. So last week, everyone had active committees, so there was a lot of us scattered around. As you all know, our parliamentarians stepped down, and we have to replace them. So there's a couple ways of doing this. And I've been thinking a lot about it and talking to my advisors and such, our advisors, and it seems like nobody really likes the position of parliamentarian, and rightfully so. It is very procedural. You have to do a lot of paperwork. You do get to work with Keely, which is a lot of fun. But it is just you chair the rules committee, and it's important work, but it could be mundane sometimes, like all of us. So there's a couple ways to go about this, and we can discuss it now, discuss it later. It's kind of what the floor is for. Whether obviously we can fill this position and it be done with, or we can talk about potentially removing the position entirely. Now, the reason I thought about this is because one, the vice president does not chair it at all. The only one who really doesn't. And a lot of the responsibilities of the parliamentarian could fall under, could go under the vice president. So then that will actually remove someone from the executive cabinet. And as you know, there's 10 people in the executive, which is very hard to maintain, discourse and talk about all these things. It's our executive meetings are just as long as these meetings because of how many people are in there, which is sometimes not effective. So I'm curious what you all think about, potentially removing it, or, if that didn't happen, it could also, go to the vice chair, which is Arden, and, we could still remove the position and have, maybe a change of hours, because currently it's 5 hours for the parliamentarian. And my personal opinion, I don't think the parliamentarian needs 5 hours to do the job that's currently in the Constitution. So, yeah.
Senator Peterson?
If we did remove the position, could we use the excess to raise the stipends of the rest of the executive?
Treasurer Carter, would you like to speak on that?
We could. I think that would be a good idea if we did decide to remove the position.
Yeah, here's the thing, if we did remove it, we still have to, the position still needs to be done. If it's done by a senator, that's fine, but, it needs to be done. And that's why, the small amount of, stipends that we get is supposed to incentivize us to do the work, right? So if we do take that away, I don't know how that would impact the jobs that need to be done, especially for clubs.
I was just saying, if we're distributing the work into the existing executive, then we should probably.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes, I understand.
Senator Brown? I saw you had your hand raised.
It's kind of answered in there somewhere, so you're saying like if we don't have the parliamentarian know that the work will go to the vice president, or no?
So there's a couple ways to go about it. So one, we could move the responsibilities of the parliamentarian to the vice president. Currently, the vice president's job right now is to chair the meetings, to send out the agenda weekly, and the daily committee assignments. And currently it's 10 hours, 9 hours, 9 office hours. That's a lot of office hours for the amount of work. And Trevor obviously does a lot of work still outside of the actual responsibilities of the Constitution, but you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Is there anybody that wants to do it right now?
Arden seems very interested. Yeah, so the reason I brought it up was because me and Arden talked, and Arden was very interested in taking over the role. I think Arden would do a great job. I just wanted to open it up to everyone here to see, what you all think, because I can't make that decision unilaterally. It has to, come from you guys, whether it is putting Arden in that position or removing the position and changing, switching the duties over.
Personally, I'm not on the rules committee, I don't know what that entails, so I'd like to hear more from, Senator Arden and also, Trevor, just to know, because, obviously after this semester, this would go to, people who come in, is that something the vice president could do, is that too much, is that something that, I don't know, I'm just not there, so I'd like to hear more.
I'll answer that. The Rules Committee mainly is there to go over the club constitutions that clubs have. And honestly, anything that gets voted on in the Rules Committee is just to send it here. So that could be a discussion in and of itself. Whether or not to just go over the club constitutions, make sure they're good to be voted on by all of you here, so that we don't spend 2 hours going over every little detail of the club's constitution, having to send it back, and tying up everybody's time in the process. Also, the Rules Committee is responsible for any changes to the SGA Constitution. The problem has been the last 3 presidents, sorry, Mark, have tried to amend the Constitution numerous times and tried to, quote-unquote, fix the Constitution. Ideally, if we were all to agree on the Constitution and the bylaws in one way or the other, it would just be overseeing any proposed changes to those. However, the past few years, people have been wanting to change almost everything in there, and it has caused the parliamentarian to overwork themselves and us resign from SGA. But naturally, it would just be to go over any proposed changes and prepare them for both members.
are just, so I mean, I think that obviously the rules committee still needs to be there. Is that something for you now as vice president or any incoming vice president, is that too much work to not chair that committee? Is that something that like you think is appropriate since like you do kind of have to run a committee, like, just like go work with other guys?
I personally think it would be appropriate for the vice president to run the committee because in the Constitution it says that the vice president sends, if it doesn't originate from the rules committee, the vice president has to send any proposed resolution to the rules committee, which is kind of, doesn't really make much sense for the vice president to serve as the middleman in that situation. Sending it to the rules committee and then sending it from the rules committee back to the legislative body. So I feel like that would be appropriate. As for me right now, I know the workload would be, I'd be able to handle it. I feel like ideally the position entails running the meetings, committee assignments, and whatnot. I feel like it would fit within the 9-hour office hours required by the vice president. Senator Pearson?
I think that I think it could go to the vice president, but I think if we have somebody willing to fill that role, that keeping it split is the smartest decision.
Does anyone have any president or
Just off of that, like, I think in the future, I do think it would be appropriate for the vice president to do that, especially within the office hours. However, since we've had a parliamentarian and the rules committee, and Senator Arden has been the vice chair, I do think it's appropriate now, but I think if that's something in the future we want to merge that, I think that would be appropriate.
Does anyone have anything else to add to the discussion? Senator Adams?
Yeah, so I talked to Mark about this, that it's been weighing on me being the vice chair, feeling like I have to do something. But also in the fact that this is a leadership position and a big leadership position, and coming from a background in performing arts, I'm always looking for things to do outside of the realm of performing arts, and so I think having a leadership position like this would push me and challenge me in ways that I've been actively seeking. But I'm also open to the idea of maybe for the first citizens committee that's something that could be done by the parliamentarian and vice president or co-chair sort of thing. But yeah, that's what's been weighing on me, and I am interested in the position.
Thank you, Senator Adams. President Cuomo, do you have anything to say further on this?
Just to plug it up, why don't we think about this then, and next week, close putting our position in. So it seems like if you are interested, and obviously, just because our position doesn't mean that anyone else can't go for the role too. But we do know that someone's interested. So I would say that I guess this would be a thing past me if you're interested in changing things up, because from my experience at Tech Cap, it's quite large and it's hard to manage everything sometimes, and our meetings go very long because there's so many of us. I would consider potentially, especially if you're going to be here next year or the years after that, potentially doing stuff over. Just some thoughts. Yeah.
Thank you, President Colombo, and thank you all for that very insightful discussion. It's very nice to have discussions like that with the legislative body and keep everyone engaged within our organization. With that said, is there anything else for our first open floor? Before I move on, I forgot to mention this earlier. The door at Boulevard, the one door at Boulevard, has been broken numerous times and presents a safety concern for our students. Any person off the street can simply just walk into the little atrium and hope that they can slip by the other door and the security guard that's at night, and they're able to be in our apartment building, which is very concerning and presents a safety issue. I don't know what can be done right now. I am merely just bringing it to the attention of the public that something needs to be done, and that I certainly will be trying to work hard on that. to make sure something's done. Senator Peterson?
I was just gonna say, right now, we just have like 2 cones behind it and a thing on the door that says, please use other doors, so that's their temporary solution.
So, anyone else have anything for first open floor? Chief of Staff Tracy?
So this is something I've wanted to work on for a while, but I just haven't been able to find the time. And I think that these, after us, whoever comes to the university after us would really benefit to what I want to do. And I was wondering if anybody would like to start working on a project with me, which would be working on getting family and friend swipes in the dining hall.
Okay.
So I'll start you guys out, but then it's gonna be completely you. I'll get you in touch with who to go to, what to do, and then you can take on with that.
Alright, thank you, Chief of Staff Tracy. Do we have anything else for first open floor? Once again, I apologize for what I forget. I just did notice now that many of our absences today were not excused. Which in my opinion is very inexcusable. If you're not going to attend a meeting, let somebody know. We're very flexible. We're students too. We're people too. Please communicate. It's very upsetting when people don't communicate when they're not going to be here. And with that, we'll move to reports to the executive cabinet. President Palumbo, do you have anything to report?
Yeah, just a couple things. Wi-Fi things are up and running very smoothly. Access points are in the works of hopefully being installed. We're still waiting on physical plants, electricians to do some wiring. But you know, I'm so happy with where that's at from where we started, along with the actual Wi-Fi work study position. It seems like the position, as I talked to Emma Cleary, who's the current help desk manager, our new help desk manager, who took over for Tom Leibowitz. It was Tom Leibowitz. So I talked to Emma a lot, and we discussed how it's really not, because there are already worksite positions in IT, but they're more so for like assistants or like desk attendants. And this position is like really for like social media, like communication, to be able to create their newsletter, to go out often, to be able to, you know, create videos, expand on their knowledge base. Do any of you know that there's a knowledge base for IT right now? So you can go, if you have any issues with Wi-Fi or whatnot, there's a knowledge base on the website where there's like how to connect to this, how to connect to that. The worksite will continually work on those articles, make more, create videos for that, so whenever you have an issue and you email IT, a video will correspond with that from the worksite who's created it. So I think that's really awesome, and hopefully that position will be filled in the next month or so. Ready to hear?
Senator Rob, do you have a question?
Oh, okay. So that's that. Yeah, so I just have a couple things to say. OSGS people, Ohio Student Government people, I'd love to meet with you very briefly at the end of the meeting, just to talk about, because it's been rescheduled and sometime in March. I don't know if you guys can make it anymore, so we're gonna have to, you know, figure out all that stuff. As well as, you know, to Trevor's point, like we have done a lot of really good things this year, and I'm really happy with all of you. Seriously, all of you have done excellent work. Right? If you just even come to the meetings, putting your voice out there is something. It's impactful. Okay, you know, all of you have different perspectives on everything. But along with that, you know, we do need to be communicative. Me, I'm the most lenient person I know. I mean, I let Trevor and Frankie like take care of like the hard stuff. But I really do need you guys to like, you know, try to be more engaged as possible. Like especially this semester. Last semester, I didn't really care that much because you all were here, you all were, you know, making discussions and stuff. But now you've had a semester here, we need to start doing more, like being more engaged, answering on the Discord more. You know, committees, finance committee seems to be doing well. DEI committee seems to be well. Comm committee seems to be okay, but Boba needs some help. You know, I've talked to Boba about that. So, you know, we can only do so much of it, right? So the more you guys can help out with these initiatives. And if you don't know what to do or you're confused about something, that's something on us, so we can talk about that. But showing up to these meetings, showing up to committee meetings are so important. If you can't, just let us know. Like I said, we are students. We're not professional. We're students too. I'm an acting major, like I'm going to be in theater. But you know what I mean? So attendance is extremely crucial. Communication, just talking in the Discord. If Discord's not your cup of tea, we can email. Just let us know. We can continually email notifications as much as possible. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Like I said, you've been doing good. Just more engagement would be extremely appreciated, especially with all of us up here. Because we do a lot of work, but it's impossible to do without you guys. And if you guys aren't here, then there's no government. There's no government at all. I hired these people, except for Chuck. Right? These are my people. You guys were all elected. So that's important to know too. Okay?
Thank you, President Cuomo. Is that everything you have to report?
Yes, and I'm going to invite you all to our exec cab meetings. You're always all been invited already, but if you're interested in pursuing a leadership position up here in the coming years, please consider attending our exec cab meetings so you can see what we do, and how we function currently, whether it's good or bad. Also, if you are planning on running for something and you only see kind of what we do on the outside, please come talk to us. If you're like, yeah, I'm interested in running for VP or president or an executive position, talk to us, because the back end of how things work is completely different from the front end. It's like development. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you, President Cuomo. As you stated earlier, all executive meetings are open. Members as are these meetings. So if you would like to attend one, they're immediately after the legislative body. You're all welcome to attend. Can you send her about you? Hand up your interest.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it was, we just.
Okay, thank you. And that's James. As for my report, I was going to put attendance on mine, but as I stated during before, and as Mark stated, we need to do a little bit better job communicating. We're not going to be here, and if we can make the meetings, to be in 2 meetings. But if not, just communicate. We're all understanding people. We're all students. Just let's.
Yeah, if you can't make it, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Just just letting us know that is the bare minimum to do that, right? Just out of respect.
As for what I did put on the agenda for my report, meetings this week, me and President Cuomo will have a board of trustees meeting tomorrow, so we will be attending that as representatives of the students and the Student Government Association. We have a meeting with the president, I believe this week. I think it's on the 1st. So we will have that.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, those are the main meetings that I'll be having this week. As for elections, I'm helping with creating the forms, making sure that we put on the elections successfully for the spring. First off, if you want to run, we'll need people to run eventually, so if you have any interest at all, please consider running for president or vice president. Half of the executive cabinet are all seniors, so we're going to need people to replace us.
You can also run for senator again if you don't feel ready to do that. Okay?
Also run for re-election in the Senate. There's no election for the other executive cabinet positions; those are appointed by the president. But in that case, I would recommend running for a senator and then applying to those positions. That's all I really have. I still have to create a few forms pertinent to the election, but things of that sort will be coming up next few weeks. That's all I have to report, Chief Step Racy.
Running off of the election talk, Trevor's is handling most of the forms. I'm on the other hand basically doing everything else, setting up the meetings, setting up debates, all that stuff. So if you're interested, again, please come talk to me so we can talk about what the debates are going to look like, get some schedules going for this semester so I can solidify dates as soon as possible, because it is kind of hard getting into what's that, the CMI, and different things along that line. It's a whole ordeal, so please come see me as soon as possible. I say this every meeting, and I'm gonna say it every meeting, until I see some change. I need some of you guys to step up a little bit more and help with planning of events coming up. Multicultural fair is a lot to plan. Pioneer Community Day is a lot to plan. We can't keep doing this ourselves. I'm already running out of steam, and it's only, the third week. So I need some of you to at least please help me, and Alicia. I can't keep going to Mark and being the Mark for this for me, because I know Mark has his own stuff to do. Friday, I met with Maria Ochoa about our senior appreciation. Things are going well with that. Right now I have to email Crystal again about the dimensions for our banners that I want to do. If all my seniors in here, February 20th and 21st is the grad fair. So keep that in mind, put that on your calendars. I'm also on the senior week committee somehow. So I have a lot of information on senior week. So seniors, keep your eyes open for some ideas. I designed the shirts. So yeah, I don't know if there's any other seniors except for the second half. Honestly, I think that's it, because I can't remember everything else.
Tracy. Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Chair, Brouillard, do you have anything to report?
I'll keep it short. Multicultural Festival, Latinx, Shalom, DSU, they all confirmed on being part of it. I'm waiting for AAPI to respond to my emails. Amanda Acapado from the Office of Compliance and Integrity is also going to be helping now, because she used to be in charge of international students. I don't know the exact position, but she's basically done this many times, and I know she loved doing it, so she's also going to help out. And I'm also communicating with Dr. Soto about funding. Last Wednesday, we had the affinity groups all get together with Tessa, just to basically just discuss issues and future plan for all of us together, because we all have similar struggles, and also create a Discord group so that we can communicate with each other, because we're all very in our own worlds. So we're trying to get us all together. I met with Angela on Friday to talk about what I was doing with College Club before she left. Just pretty short, because I had to also talk about my own stuff, and also I had my first ever DEI committee right after that, which went really well. They're all great, they all have ideas, they're all very passionate and committed, and we'll be meeting again Friday, and then hopefully getting pizza.
Thank you, Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Chair Brouillard. Corporate Secretary Foxall.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, sorry for not sending this. I completely forgot about it. I'll send it to you after.
Thank you. Treasurer Carter, do you have anything to report?
Spring 1 allocations will be taking place during new business. Stay tuned.
Thank you. Communications Director Bova is feeling sick today. Today is a Senate report. All right. Graphic Design Coordinator Gazelle, do you have anything to report?
Not really. I think I decided to get back into it. I was here the first meeting of the semester, and then the day after, I got the flu, and so, yay, great start. But, so yeah, I was very, very sick, and then I had a bunch of makeup work, and then I had a funeral, like, excuse, which is a lot. But regardless, again, I apologize, I like came out of the bed, I was like, yeah, let's do this, and then a lot of things happened, but, you know, I'm a lot better, I'm getting caught up, and now I'm actually ready to start this. Knock on wood, let's hope no more character development happens. So, yeah, again, if you need me, email me or my number. I think I might send that in the Discord because that is a surefire way to contact me. But yeah, and again, communications, I think we talked about it. We're looking to start on Thursdays, which is gonna be fun. We're gonna get back into the groove of it, and I'll start communicating more.
Thank you, Frank, Design Coordinator Giselle. President Pro Tem Board Messenger, do you have any report?
Yeah, so some of you, there are a lot of senators, so I haven't gotten to everyone, but some of you guys have been getting emails from me. I'll be reaching out to everyone, whether or not you've been doing your office hours, just to check in. But also, you know, you guys can still contact me if you can't do your office hours. After Exec Hub today, there will be a new paper for your office hours. Remember, you're supposed to report in meetings, and no one's really been doing that, but at least let me know what you're working on during your office hour. I know they talked about up there, needing some help planning events, that counts for your office hour. Even if it's not in the office and you don't write it down, just let me know what you did, what you were working on, and that's why we're pretty lenient. We were a lot more lenient last semester because everyone's new. This is the biggest group, you know, I guess we've had, but now that you guys have been here, like, we really need to start, and 1 hour a week is not a lot. Just see what people need help with. You can reach out. I know I'm on the Student Innovation Committee. We're planning a lot of stuff. If you want something to do, you can reach out to me or really anyone. So that's it. But yeah, always available at Discord, email, and if you haven't heard from me, you will soon.
Alright, thank you. We're gonna move to reports of the standing committee. Rules committee has not met, so I assume there's no report for that. We did get a hub constitution that we will be pushing through today. Just that we don't hold them up over this whole parliamentarian thing, so that we will not do new business. Finance committee.
Yep, spring loan allocations will be discussed during new business, stay tuned. And also, thanks for a super fun finance committee meeting on Thursday. That was so cute.
Thank you. Communications committee. Is there anything to report for that?
Not yet. We're still coming up with a solid time. Thursday is when it's looking up to where we're going to be.
Okay, thank you. Student innovation committee.
Okay, so first of all, our time, at least for this week, is gonna be 2:30. We're gonna kind of do time, because there's gonna be conversation. And you have students to come, always able to 2:30 in the office.
On Friday.
On Fridays. Yes, on Fridays. Last week, we kind of just discussed the projects we're going to be working on this semester. If anyone has any input, this would be a good meeting to go to this Friday because we're planning to move out of schedule for this semester. Obviously, as things come up, we'll have them. But yeah, that's about it.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion committee.
Pretty much just talk about issues on campus. I think the next meeting, we're gonna kind of come up with a more plan, I guess. Yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you. Reports of senators. Do any senators have anything to report? Alright. President Pro Tem Board Messenger.
I had my first faculty committee meeting last week. I was assigned it last semester, but this is the first time that I'm on the graduate program committee. So there's a couple changes to some of the grad programs, and they kind of fleshed out. They're doing, you can get your master's and an MBA within additional years, so they're adding some to that. They also really like what you guys did last year with the bus passes, so they're looking at doing that for grad students with some of the fees they have. Obviously, it would be different, but they like that. And then they're working on some changes as far as your non-traditional student bringing in some experience for credit. So it was very successful.
President Cuomo?
Yeah, from what I talked about with Dean Paylow, it seems like people are using the bus passes, so, I mean, we had to, I would assume, but like, we had to still look at the numbers to see. And obviously, I think that'd be something that even the graduate like student association and SGA can work towards, to expand that. And hopefully after grad students, back to the staff and so on, right? But yeah, no, absolutely. We can just, I would look at getting those numbers eventually for like next year or sometime, and seeing, how many people actually use them, and then go from there and expand upon the actual passes that we get.
Any other reports to senators? There are no further reports to senators. We move on to old business. We don't have any old business, so we'll move into new business. Spring 1 applications. Treasurer Carter.
All right, so for spring 1, we have 15 groups submit requests. We came up under budget. We only made one cut, and it was because they were requesting rights to stream a movie that we found on a free service. So no point in paying for that. But otherwise, everything, all items were approved, which brings us to a grand total of $6,888.68. There was one group that submitted their form in the wrong location. It didn't get caught until after we had reviewed everything on Thursday, but I looked over that request today, and all the items are in accordance with our budget priority guidelines. And seeing as we have come up under budget, I think it would be beneficial to lump this in, which would make our total $7,137.56, which still comes up a little under $3,000 under budget. So, mind you, we do want to be spending our money for the sake of future SGAs, so that they get the same resources that we have. So yeah, that's our spring 1 number, $7,137.56 to student organizations, 16 total.
All right. I have kindly put the number up on the board. Is that correct, Treasurer Carter?
That is correct.
All right. So someone would like to make a motion to approve the amount. Such motion will be made at this time. Senator Adams.
I make a motion to approve $7,137.56 for spring 1 applications.
All right. Do we have a second? Senator McLaughlin seconds. Is there any discussion? Being that there is no discussion, we will move to a vote. All those in favor of approving $7,137.56 to student organizations, please raise your hand. All opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes 11-0, 1 abstention, and $7,000. The amount is approved to student organizations. We will now move to the constitution of the Point Park Ballroom Dance Floor Club. Now, this constitution was very lengthy. It's,
Since the parliamentarian has been, taking that moment, Trevor and I took over the responsibilities, so Paul Rayhart and the committee, we went over the constitution and stuff to bring here. You all see already. Just so you're aware.
it is lengthy, however, I don't see anything in here that would. There's some very specific things that they put in here, like they name a specific person as the coach. Have specific times for meetings. However, I don't believe that that's anything to hold this club up from approving their constitution. Obviously, we would, specific times. Obviously, we would let them know that some of the things in there are very specific. However, I do not believe it is anything to have that put against them. However, you all are the ones who vote on this, so if anyone would like to make a motion to approve this constitution, such a motion will be accepted. Senator McLaughlin,
Vote I motion to approve this constitution.
all right, do we have a second? Senator Brown seconds. Is there any discussion? According to Secretary Foxwell.
Aren't we not supposed to have those specific times or dates in the constitution, because that may be where any of those change?
Keely, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, so you said that if they are putting their club time meetings on there, that they would break it if they couldn't make it?
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially it would. So that's something that we can always go back to the club about to have them adjust. Because I saw a couple of things on there that, like you mentioned, the names of the advisor, the times for the club to meet can be subjective. So I think that's something that we just need to discuss with the club.
All right, is there any further discussion? Our Secretary Foxwell. What are you trying to do?
Nice to see the
On the condition that we will inform the organization of things that we wish to change. Senator Adams.
So just to clarify with this motion, this would just put the club into motion so that they would later go back to make changes, or is this to make contrary to what Recording Secretary Fox was saying, if they're so specific in the Constitution and then you can't follow through with that, that effectively breaks the Constitution. So I guess I'm just confused on what exactly we are amending, whether that's the forming of the club itself or just this Constitution.
Well, Senator Foxwell wants us to vote in consideration that they will approve this Constitution. What Senator Fox was trying to say is that Recording Secretary Fox, so I apologize.
Basically, what I'm saying is, you make a motion to approve this club constitution on the grounds that they change the mentioned things.
Senator Adams, is that satisfactory?
Yes, I was just lost about what's happening.
Alright, is there any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, we will take it to a vote. All those in favor of approving the Constitution of the Point Park Ballroom and Sport Club, please raise your hand. All opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes unanimously. The Constitution is approved on the basis that they change it so it is not so specific. With that, we will move back to our presentation here. Does anyone have anything for the final? Senator McLaughlin?
They're just going back to what you were saying about like with the door, another recent issue with the dorm. I know one student, in Lawrence, the room above them was vacant, but there was a drip going and it deteriorated the grout and his bathroom ceiling collapsed. So I don't know if there's anything we need to or have to or can do about that, but just to be aware that there is a wider concern with some maintenance necessities around us.
Thank you. Senator Peterson?
Off of that, I just wanted to note that when that did happen, we tried to because it's my restaurant, we contacted physical plant and they did not answer us. So we contacted public safety because it's linked, so physical plant didn't answer. And they came and cleaned up cleaned up their bathroom and basically told them that they would be back to replaster the next day and didn't end up doing that until today. So, and this happened Friday night.
Alright.
Just, yeah.
Thank you.
And then all the things were inside the sewer, just. Yeah.
Is there anything else for our final floor? If no one has, Senator Adams?
In addition to that, I believe it was floor 12, their laundry room, flooded.
Yeah.
So, overall water issue.
That's all.
Alright, thank you, Senator Adams. Is there anything else for our final floor? Alright, if there is nothing else for our final open floor, we will move into announcements. The SGA banquet is tentatively scheduled for April 15th. Location to be determined and time as well. Likely be sometime after the final legislative body, of which we usually have the incoming president and vice president be sworn in, and the official transition of power occurs. So it'll be sometime after that. So be on the lookout for dates and locations for that. Are there any other announcements?
Just a few, yeah. We've never had a banquet before, and we have, some funding for it, so I'm really excited. I kind of want to give back to you guys of the work you've done. Just because we're asking more of you doesn't mean you haven't done stuff. I want to make that very clear. But as I do with them, I do with you. I ask a lot because I know you can do it. And I know you're students first, but you're here for a reason as well. So there's that balance we have in there. If you don't know, Brad, one of our advisors, is now gone, left the university, and is now at the university,
Penn State Greater
Penn State
Allegheny.
Greater Allegheny, and has a new job. So if you need to talk to someone and you don't want to talk to any of us, Kiri is one of our advisors as well as Michael Giesky still, who's always in the back. You can always talk to Bailey too if his doors ever open. So one other thing, OSGS people, please stay for a couple minutes. I have to talk to you about the date changes and that stuff, and talk to me for like 30 seconds. Okay? Great work. Let's give it up. Okay. Yeah, one more. Two more.
DEI Chair Roy.
Okay, well, we are giving away a gold gown today. I'm saying this now, apologies, it is broken. But I think we have more, so we can get you a different one, but you can take this one for now, we don't have to, honestly. But this person has been very dedicated since they joined SGA. They've been going above and beyond, even just joining later on in the year. They're always available whenever you need them, and also helped out a lot with the Point Park Cares design stuff and graphics. And they're always chilling in the office, words by Frankie. They're always at our meetings, both legislative and executive. So I want to congratulate Drew Williams on We'll get you one that's not broken. We got one.
Not the broken.
Alright, my turn. So there's a special birthday coming up this week on Friday. We're not all gonna be there to celebrate it. So I think we should sing happy birthday to Alicia right now.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alicia. Happy birthday to you.
I'm turning 22.
Alright, are there any other announcements? Any more mitzvahs, other birthdays, anything else? Alright, with that said, our next meeting is February 5th here in Lawrence Cross 200, And this meeting is adjourned at 4:08 p.m.
Yeah.
Bye.